There's something new here.
Yeah, I before the mic stands were like clamped onto the back of this table, and the thing is you touch the mic so much that it keeps falling off. You've had issues. You've knocked the mic off the stand.
Ooh, I never touched the mic.
A dozen times.
How dare you even accuse me of
and not
touching the
only
mic?
do you touch the mic and knock it off its stand, but you also grab the mic or you pull the dog up onto the table. You're constantly hitting the mic. It's a nightmare in editing.
You're blaming the dog, not me. Okay, don't confuse me with the dog.
You blame the dog. You're constantly blaming the dog. In fact, you know what? Last week's podcast, when you showed up at 4, I was listening to it and editing, and you tried to pass off the fact that everyone had to pet the dog for you being 4 hours late. I'm like, are there 4 hours of pets happening? What the fuck?
I couldn't go anywhere with her because everybody's it was just a weird random day where for some reason everybody had to pet the dog. Normally I get away, nobody wants to even see her, but that day everybody wanted to be Brindley's friend.
Okay. Another cool thing is like we can you're not going to hit the mic, okay? The only thing I ask is that you don't shove your face in the mic and then lean back.
I feel like I should do some pull-ups on this or something.
Okay, this is the final thing. It feels like there is like a barrier between us, and I like that. Because our relationship needs firm boundaries.
I feel like I won't be able to slap you if you talk about my wife. You know what I mean?
Well, until you get a wife, I can talk about whoever I want.
How do you know I don't have one, all right? She's doing fine in the basement. It's all tied up.
Is it your wife? I have a wife.
Oh, man.
I found a girl with a ring on her finger. She's in the basement now.
That was one of the premises of one of the last Netflix horror movies was a girl tied up in the basement. And then you think like the whole time it's like this dude's brother and he's this chick's brother and he's taking care of her or something. And then at the end you find out she died when she was little and he's just been finding other girls to like replace her this whole time. It was like, did you see that one? I can't remember the name
I
of it.
have not seen that one, but it reminds me.
They had the chick from Hunger Games, but anyways.
Hunger Games.
I have not seen any of those Hunger Games movies, but I remember the chick that's in it.
Oh, come on.
She's the hottie.
What's her name? No, what's her name?
You'll remember more. Right? She's the hottie from Hunger Games, you know.
Jennifer Lawrence.
She's kind of funny, too. Yeah.
Dude, you know what's fun? If you forget a name, run through the alphabet in your head. Which is what I just did. And as soon as I hit Jennifer.
Interesting. So I have to keep track of there's 500 students in our school, okay? And 150 of them are children in my kids program. So imagine trying to memorize all these kids' names, and then some kids leave, and you have to learn new kids. You know what I mean? They're constantly coming in. So it feels like ever since I've been in this job, now like any new person's name that I meet, like especially a doll or anybody, it's like good luck trying to get that freaking name in my head, man. Like you got to see me a couple times before I'm gonna get that dang name, dude. But it just always makes me think of The Office, where he's like, mole, big mole, oh, fat mole, Jerry, that's his name. No, but back to your point, with me and all these kids, for whatever reason, I can 90% of the time my gut instinct will tell me the first letter, and then I'll like if I don't remember a kid's name, I'm like it starts with a J, right? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what is it? I can't remember. You know, I'll have to ask quite a bit, but for whatever reason, I've never tried to like say the alphabet. But I'll definitely, for what I'm like looking at their face, and I'll just be like, "What's the first letter? What's the first letter?" Like, I don't know. That'll come first for some. There's a similar.
What's interesting is like, let's say I'm trying to remember Jennifer Lawrence's name. If I run through the alphabet and I don't hit on like, if I don't hear J and like remember Jennifer, I'll hit J and go like, it feels like a J. And then I'll focus on J and I'll run through like J and then a vowel, like J-E, Jennifer, or J-O, Josh.
Sounds like you should be on like the Wheel of Fortune or something, man. Are you like good at that shit?
I am.
You do play that words app, don't you? What's that one word app
Wordle.
you play? Wordle. You're into the Wordle.
You haven't gotten into. Dude, I'm so glad you remembered Wordle.
I've never done
to
the
me,
Wordle.
that means like you could get into Wordle.
Never did Wordle. Never did Words with Friends. What was that other one?
Oh, I remember Words with Friends.
I didn't have any friends, I guess. I don't know what was going on, but those are the two big ones that I've heard of where you're trying to guess. You get like limited letters. It's like Scrabble. I don't know, right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Similar to?
I mean, they are word games.
Word games. There you go.
Definitely.
Here's the thing. We don't play a lot of those games in my house because my girlfriend is severely dyslexic.
Oh, okay.
I mean, very so. Literally, like her texting me, I'll have to, and she wants me to do this, but I'll have to like correct her words very frequently. For instance, great. All right, you would always just say Great, great. She always spells it Grate. She always will spell things phonetically, like as you will, like the simplest way that you can imagine spelling it. That's how she's gonna say it.
I prefer that.
I know, right?
Why can't we all just?
That's her whole fucking argument too. Is like, why? When I have to correct it, she's like, "Why is there a fucking that letter?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Nobody knows.
They fucking did it,
dude. I don't know what it is. This is totally unrelated, and it's now that I'm prepping to say it, it feels like a weird flex. But I remember I was trying to get into college in Iowa City. I was going to Kirkwood, Iowa City.
Shout out. That's where my brother went.
Okay. And
oh wait, no, he didn't. He went to Hawkeye. My bad.
I went there school. With Megan, who I lived with while I went to Kirkwood. Mm-hmm. And we had driven up there before we got accepted, and I had to take a placement exam. Okay. And the night before, we like got lit. We partied at some random place so fucking hard that I woke up the next morning and I'm like, I gotta be at this placement exam right now. I'm already out of time. But I like reeked of alcohol and vomit, and I went into Walmart and I had to get like a toothbrush and toothpaste because I didn't bring any with me.
Sure. And
I get to this placement exam. I'm hungover to the I'm wrecked, and I get to the grammar portion, and I got a perfect score.
Wow!
I didn't miss a single question. And it was like sentence structure, and you had to type out sentences and paragraphs and stuff like that.
Sure.
But the math portion, they placed me in a math class that I was amongst people who I don't know how to politically correctly say this, but They came there on the short bus?
Yes.
I was in a math class. And you know what's crazy? Megan also got put into that math class. And we were side by side in that math class doing basic arithmetic, like, okay, you have to do the multiplication before you do the addition in this problem. And
am I in college now?
I remember me and Megan were in that math class. It was the only class that I did well in. And I remember we just looked at each other one day and we're like, yeah, this isn't working out, is it? Like, we shouldn't be in college.
That's funny.
The English class that I got placed into, I had like a 0% in that class. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
It was just way too. What I was going to bring up too is we went to high school in a small town, and the teachers in that school.
They were so young.
I would say 75% of them came from that town. So, what education do they get? What was a local education? They obviously hired out what they could, but I remember I was born out in Colorado, and I went to a private school for like a year or two in 6th and 7th grade.
Okay.
And I remember like the level of teachers like was just amazing. And then I get to like high school and out in Iowa, and I was like, this is not quite the same, man. Like this is just like easy living. Like
it was easy to the point where like and strange because the teachers were young.
Yeah.
And like
right.
kids became actual friends with the teachers
and
would drink with the teachers. And a teacher in our high school, as soon as the day we graduated was the day he chose to hold hands with a student in my class.
Oh boy.
And they made their relationship public.
Oh.
And he was fired, and like he left that town because it's not like they just started their relationship the day that she graduated. You know what I mean?
I totally forgot about that. And honestly, I didn't even really know much about that story. He was my cross country coach the one year I did cross country.
Interesting.
Because I got caught drinking and I needed to serve my punishment.
Also, she broke up with him really quickly.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, pretty.
Oh, poor guy, man. Poor guy. He did all that work.
Yeah,
put all that work
he
in.
He groomed a minor, and poor guy. I feel really bad for him.
Man, all those good grades he gave her, and like,
oh man, it's too dark. It's too dark.
I mean, what are we here for, man? We're here to talk about roses and daisies.
No, which brings me to the video we posted this week. That also maybe our edgiest video. I think as I was editing it, I was like, I'd pulled out two clips, and I was like. I edited those up and I put them off to the side of my edit, and I'm editing, and then I put them off to the side because I was like, maybe I should leave those out. And then I said, nah, fuck it. And I tacked them on.
The one I was surprised about was the autistic chick. Yeah. I thought for sure you would cut that out.
That was the one. That was the one that I didn't add until the end.
And personally, like the things I said, I don't think it crossed the line or anything.
No,
like,
I thought it was
there's literally like a TikTok channel that I love of these two autistic guys that try to cook.
Right.
And they're trying to tell each other help each other out, and it's just funny, man. I don't know.
I don't think that we crossed the line. I don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't have uploaded it.
Right.
But for the first for the first 24 hours after the upload, I was like, I hope nobody thinks we're assholes. And then the comments
that's what
came
you're
in,
worried about?
And you were the first comment, and it was it was a face of like yikes. All you commented was the yikes emoji, and I was like, and then I'm sweating. I'm like, oh, was that too far? Oh fuck! No. Even Dalton thinks it was too far.
No, I just did that because it was cringe.
And then the next two comments were like, I laughed so hard I scared the dog. Oh, I'm like dying. I can't breathe. Like those types of comments. And I was like, okay, good. That's all I needed. Yeah. I just needed a couple positive comments.
Oh, good. I'm glad guys were sweating for a minute. I was probably the first one that saw it.
Speaking of TikToks, this was totally clear to everyone who watched last week's podcast. We were going to do top 10, we were both going to cultivate cringe TikToks, a dark TikTok, and then we were going to review them today on the podcast. Dalton didn't understand that. It's not that he forgot. Normally it's that he forgets or just doesn't do it.
I'm totally ready to do it now because I thought we were going to film us.
He thought
creating these accounts and then a week later show the cringe.
Now, I totally can. You know what? I
don't understand the premise now because we were just gonna have our phones out and say we made these accounts.
Okay, so
how does the video start?
The the way I explained it last week, totally fine that you didn't understand it.
It's like one of those videos where like they're showing people how to cook and they're like, I already have one done in the oven. It's already here.
No. Listen. Because the process to do this, it literally takes a week. It's not something you can capture on camera.
Thought this was going to be a kind of a bigger video that you want to do instead of just a little quick clip review.
Okay, so the way that I explained it last week in their
reaction video, I keep saying,
and you didn't
videos.
understand it, was we were going to end the podcast. We were going to go off into our own lives, creating new TikToks, and trying to make them as cursed as possible. Then we were going to meet on this podcast, and we were just going to flip through the first 10, and then it was going to be up to the audience to decide who had the darkest TikTok.
I don't even remember us deciding that it was just going to be on the podcast. I thought this was going to be a whole
If you
separate
go back
video.
and listen to the podcast,
I don't even remember it being in the podcast.
now I don't want to hearken on the fact that you smoke weed because I feel like that's an easy target.
I just remember the one text you're like, Instagram post.
Okay,
Instagram
so
or
on top
something,
of that,
or,
the
Snapchat.
very next day, on Saturday, I said, in capital letters, create a new TikTok account.
Right, I remember that.
Then, using the search feature, make it cursed, cringe, or strange.
Right, I remember that.
That was like a reminder, because I figured you'd forget.
No, I just thought that was the next video to make.
Right, I can see where you'd think that was a video. But if you listen to the podcast, you will hear that the idea I had was to review these on the podcast and do it on our own time.
I didn't understand it was going to be on the podcast. I thought it was a whole separate project.
I can see how that's confusing. But the only reason I bring it up is because I created a new TikTok account and I start going through videos and I'm trying to make it cursed. And on the first 4 days, it is normie shit. It is like teens twerking and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And then I finally catch a break and I get a weird one. So I like it and I go into their profile. I'm liking all their videos. I follow them. And then like the next day I'm getting some videos that are half normie and half weird. And I saw an edit that someone made and it was Will Smith saying, "Keep fucking my wife's mouth." And then it was our edit, except they tacked on a little piece, which I do think makes it a little funnier.
Sure.
So, keep fucking my wife's mouth. Okay, I'm going to. And then they also edited on the first bit of that, which was before the slap, where he goes, "Jada, can't wait to see it." But at first I was like, oh shit, I randomly stumbled upon our video. And then I was like, oh wait, this is not our video.
Oh, darn.
Anyways.
I thought it was creative. I didn't see anybody do that yet.
It took a week to get here. But today, my TikTok is the most cursed thing I've ever seen.
Oh.
Cursed to the point where right before you came over, I was scrolling through it and I hit a TikTok that made me gag several times.
Oh.
And I was so excited. I actually we can scrap the whole comparing cursed TikToks and we can make videos out of my new TikTok feed. Because my TikTok feed right now is fucked.
Okay.
It is insane. I want to show you. I should have showed you before the podcast. Maybe we'll do a video about it at some point in the future. Maybe I'll tack one randomly on the end of this podcast. But I've never been to this side of the world. It is it is disconcerting to know that these people actually exist. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've found people that I didn't know were out in the world, and they consume my feed now.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you want to do with them now.
We have to do something with them because they are heartbreaking and funny.
Okay.
Okay. How was your week of not scrolling through demented TikToks?
Been busy, man. I finally got the 3060 installed on the computer now. Took out the 1080 or something.
Okay.
Really older card that's been handed down 14 times. I've kind of found out, like, got a group of guys now that all have their PC builds, and it's funny because they're so nitpicky. They want to just get the next best card, even if it's just one step closer. You know what I mean? And it's nice if you have 10 different guys doing this, because then he wants to sell his old one. Well, then I'll get that one, and you know what I mean. You end up recycling a few of them down instead of going through eBay or secondhand sites that are going to be like.
eBay is crazy right now for graphics cards. It's finally cooling down a bit now that crypto's going down.
But still, yeah, easily you could just make a couple $100 on that graphics card, and a lot of my buddies have ended up doing similar things like that. Because first of all, it's hard to find new ones, MSRP or decent price, going out of the original websites or whatever, or these new egg shuffles that people have. Bots, 14 email bots that, good luck trying to get your email on. What the new egg shuffle is, for people who don't know, is these graphics cards are sold out constantly. So the second they hit a site, they're gone. And they will try to get the people that are members of their site first access. And it's so weird. They call it the new egg shuffle. And if you get emailed, they'll give you like 5 different things that you could possibly get or something. And then sometimes it's like you might want the graphics card, but they include it with like a monitor or something. Like, I want that fucking monitor with it too. But anyways, it's just hard to even if they do release a graphics card, somebody else has got 14 bots with fake emails that he's already got 14 of them now.
And it's crazy. They pretend like they can't combat that. But here's the thing. If you send an email and that graphics card gets purchased within 3 seconds of you sending the email, it's a bot.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
all 14 of these went to the same address?
It's so dumb.
How does that work? Must be a different guy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's 14 different people living in this house.
Yeah, and they all have top-of-the-line gaming computers.
That's crazy.
What is this, the FaZe Clan house? What the fuck is this?
Bunch of gamers in there, man. These guys are hardcore. Oh, that's funny.
I saw an article the other day of, it was like, 19-year-old living in a studio apartment makes $900 a month mining crypto. And I'm like, okay, he definitely does. But that was a $10,000 investment.
I know.
In today's market. That was it shows him sitting in front of his rig, and he has like 10 top of the line, like 3090s or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, are we not going to talk about that, the startup cost for this business?
I took out this old graphics card, and now I'm like jokingly like, well, we're gonna start the mining rig now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Might as well. And truthfully, I have everything laying around to start a mining rig. I just don't. I mean, the people that are really into this are gonna tell me like you're gonna be spending more electricity than on the Bitcoin or something. I'm like, well, fuck. Might as well just buy the Bitcoin, right? I don't understand. Is it, you know what I mean? Is it still that? Is it still, can I start with this 1080 or whatever and then put a couple more in? Or
I mined for a week. I pimped my personal computer out to mine for like a week.
And that's the other thing I've thought of too, is when I'm not using the computer, should I be mining?
That's what I was doing.
Right.
And, dude, first of all, they pay you in Bitcoin, but you're mining Ethereum because it's more profitable for them to mine ETH and pay you in Bitcoin.
And you know what else too? I'm not exactly opposed to mining other cryptos and exchanging them for cash that I could also just buy for Bitcoin later or whatever.
Right.
I know there's other taxes and bullshit and fees, but
the thing that I was thinking was like, okay, while it's true that maybe I'm paying more for electricity than I'm getting back, the idea is that these things grow. So sure, I'm paying more today, but in 5 years maybe it worked out, or
right.
But the final thing is like.
But could you have just been putting the money away instead
into the currency, which is exactly what I was going to say. Yeah,
right.
You for sure can.
That's tough. Unless I have some fucking solar panels running up here where it was like I'm not paying as much electricity or something. I don't know.
Something like that. And also,
you know what else I've seen a lot of? Not to interrupt you, but
yeah,
people on TikTok and shit are talking about these little helium miners. Have you seen any research on these little guys?
No.
So, some sort of crypto called helium or some shit.
Okay.
And not yet. It's not
I'm like thinking
balloons or
because
something.
I'm hearing all the time like soon we won't have any helium left.
I haven't heard that one. That's a conspiracy. It's just like the big problem with like people trying to get into mining Bitcoin is. The big timers are buying these big ant miners that are a couple grand, and it's really tough to get, and like they're super loud. So there's kind of some drawbacks on it, but they're very profitable. So then these people are like they're selling now little helium miners. There just looks like a little, almost. Sorry, there's some. The ghost.
Just people in my walls that I haven't like quite killed yet.
Jesus.
Now they're screaming.
There's these they look like little internet boxes or something, and they mine. I think that's the main cryptocurrency. I don't know if there's 2 or 3 different kinds of these out there, but people are talking about making all kinds of money, and they don't make any noise, and they're only $300, $400, $500 or something like that, and people are making. I don't even know.
I don't trust this. It sounds like there is someone making money, and it's the person selling you the modem that does nothing but hum.
I know, and then it's like that crypto is going to crash eventually, right? There's nothing backing it. Like, I don't know. Who knows? I'm more interested in the 3D printers than mining crypto, really. Like, I'd rather invest into a couple of 3D printers than they're just those. I think that's very interesting. I mean, what was the other thing I was just thinking of? I was talking about planters on the last podcast about how easy that would be. Oh, I saw another thing this week, and it's going to make me mad. Are you still sticking to just like little... what do you call
miniatures?
Those? Miniatures.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what the resin printer is for. It's for like super fine detail. It's to make things that are really small that have a lot going on.
Is it what I'm trying to figure out though is like, is your market only like Dungeon and Dragons kind of dudes, or like, is it somebody that really wants this little figure?
Well, I'm hoping to sell to someone who plays Dungeons and Dragons, who's playing a role-playing game.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, there are hundreds of tabletop games out there that utilize miniatures as like a representation for something. Whether it be troops, like you're playing Warhammer, or you're playing a Song of Ice and Fire and you need these things.
What's like, you can't just print out like fucking Mickey Mouse. What's this? How does that work, man? Like
you can print Mickey Mouse. Okay, so I could walk you through the entire thing. Like,
yeah.
Let's pretend you are a graphics designer. You're proficient in like something like Blender. You can make a 3D model.
Sure.
You can make Mickey Mouse.
Right.
In your 3D model, and then you could you could list Mickey Mouse as a file for free because you're not allowed to sell Mickey Mouse.
Sell the rendering or whatever.
I could take that file and I could print Mickey Mouse for my own personal use, but like none of us is allowed to profit from the likeness, from someone else's IP. Or let's say you create
even that guy that created one that guy could.
It's always sketchy territory in these big, especially fucking Disney. Like these big companies, they don't want to see a dime going anywhere but their pocket. Mm-hmm. So, but you could make a twisted mouse, right? Like just some fucking abomination mouse, and you could sell me that file. Now you're making money as an artist, and then I could print that for my personal use.
Right.
Or the second option is you could charge 3 times as much for that file and say, if you print it, you can sell it. I'm fine with it because you paid me 3 times as much, which is what I'm doing. Like I'm paying a Patreon $30 a month rather than 10 to be able to sell all their miniatures.
So hear this. I was surfing on TikTok, and have you ever heard of this website, openai.com?
No.
So they're obviously in the AI technologies, and one that they're developing right now is blowing my mind. It's they haven't released it yet, but they have it on Twitter, and people can type in something that they want to get turned into a picture. So for example, somebody typed in Dogecoin dog with a...
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dogecoin dog with a beret and a turtleneck on. Boom, the AI makes a picture of that.
Yeah.
And instantly, like, I saw this TikTok and tried going to the website, like, we got to do that. You know what I mean?
We do got to do that.
I went to the website and it's not out yet. And I'm on, like, I guess you have to join a wait list. So I'm going to file to join the wait list for
Interesting.
sure. But like the first thing I thought of was typing in cartoon of a soup can and a salt shaker.
Okay.
Not to say that the artist that we bought this from is bad or anything. We love what he did.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know what you mean.
How crazy is that? Like, whatever concept we could just think up, it could just happen now. And I mean,
I'm trying
how
to.
Wild.
I think it was like Moist Critical or something. It put out a video a week or 2 ago using this technology, just typing in random shit and having it generate art for him. And I'll have to watch that video again to see if it was the website you're talking about, or maybe it's a website that's already out.
Yeah.
But no, that'd be a lot of fun.
I know. I saw another chick that had another AI software, and she fed it 1,000 hours of Katy Perry songs, and then asked it to write a Katy Perry song, and it produced one that sounded pretty fucking good. It was like, is that going to be the new thing, man? You don't even have to sing your own songs anymore. You just fucking an AI. You can be an AI artist now. Is that going to be a thing?
It is, and it's already a thing. Here's something really interesting that I'm gonna try to explain to the best of my ability. But I know we've talked about Tezos before. I don't know if we've ever talked about it on the podcast, but it's a different blockchain. And you can buy NFTs on it. And these NFTs really seem to be more about supporting art. They're not like profile pictures, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club or anything like that. They don't sell for a lot of money. Like I bought Tezos art that costs like $1. You know what I mean? And it's just because I'm like, oh, I like the artist. And even people like these artists are from across the world. Like Istanbul is one artist that I buy stuff from, or like another one lives in Peru. And it's like,
I love Peru.
This money, even though it doesn't seem like a lot to you, it's like $3 for one of their pictures. It's paying for their day.
Yeah.
But there's this other side of Tezos, which is they use this website called FX Hash quite a bit, and it's generative art. And what it is somebody writes a code, and that again, I'm going to explain this to the best of my ability. That code makes art based on when somebody mints the art, the like the hash, like the number sequence that transaction, the number sequence for that transaction activates the code in a way that utilizes those numbers to generate random art. And some of that art is beautiful. It's wild.
I mean, I don't know, man. When you start talking about all these, like Elon and AI and stuff, it's a little crazy. At first, I was thinking about how much we could utilize this, and then I started thinking, like half the freaking Fiverr artists are probably going to be out of a job if this was like in the open markets, wouldn't they? I mean, you'd have to be a really specialized artist now because I don't know if you can't just be doing basic shit anymore.
I don't think. Well, you know what? That's a good point. I think the video that I watched of the YouTuber typing in shit and art getting generated, it was like
pretty basic.
Very obvious that this thing was doing its best and like
Sure.
which wasn't a skill of like a professional artist.
Right.
Plus artists like they develop a style and it becomes more like if I like an individual piece, I'm going to look at their entire back catalog to decide like they're consistently making art that I like. I like their line work. I like their colors. I like things like this.
I'm always trying to think about what is happening in this fourth industrial revolution and what you know what's the next thing, and like with these 3D printers, and it's so interesting because now I feel like it's almost like at first only these big old giant companies had the resources to be able to, you know, reproduce products so easily as this, and now you could be the designer and the producer in your fucking living room and start with a couple $100, man.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, like it's kind of us against them, man. It's us against Walmart, you know. And how are you gonna fucking and Amazon even, and how are you gonna, I don't know if this is in our generation, but there's gonna be this maybe a time where it's more like jobs might be more scarce, man. AI and self-driving and who knows, man. Maybe that'll make more jobs, and maybe that will. There's so many people and not enough jobs. I don't know.
I think it's mostly just a net positive. There won't be classical jobs. There will be opportunities for people to make money on their own.
That's what I meant. Well, I was going with the 3D printer thing. Is like, you know, maybe it's just a better tool for the artist, and now it gives them a means to start a business themselves. You can design your own thing to sell. How you don't have to call up China and have some fucking giant manufacturer create 500 of these to test out, and then you find out the fucking testers will shitty, and then you gotta, you know what I mean? Like you can do one or two right here, fucking figure it out, and
yeah.
I mean, there's so many advantages to it. Now it's just like, how creative can you be with it? Can you do something that Walmart's not doing, or can you do something a little bit better? They're already selling planters, but can your planter be a little fucking cooler looking?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I can't say too much. I know an artist who does digital art, and they are trying to have a limited product line of figures. So they're looking for someone who can 3D print those.
Yeah.
And I'm working with them a little bit. I'm telling them like the limitations of what I can do, and I'm trying to help them find a 3D print. If it's me, that's cool, but if it's someone else, I'm trying to help them out as best as possible. But yeah, it's like,
it makes me also, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just going to say, like, typically they do art like picture format, 3D image or whatever, but they're trying to do like a series of figures that they want to put into people's hands, and like this is something that helps them do that.
It also makes me think of Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Spawn and early artist of Spider-Man. You came across a shitload of comics in a apartment, and I bought a Seth MacFarlane Spider-Man edition comic just because I'm a personal fan. When I was a kid, I enjoyed his action figures because they were the most realistic action figures on the market. Like, bar none. He was, and you can watch little documentaries about him and what he did with Spider-Man in the action figure industry and stuff. And he went from hyper realistic to also just like crazy grotesque action figures, which not a whole lot of people are doing as well. And that makes me think about these 3D printers too, man. You could now, you could be that. You could do that. There's only one or two of those guys that have done that in the past now, in the past 100 years, 200 years or whatever, that action figures have been around. Now anybody can make their own action figure line, as long as it's fucking cool. You know what I mean? Like how crazy is that?
The crazy thing is that they. I mean, this is somebody that I've known.
I wonder if it's going to bring the toy industry back. You know what I mean? Like Toys R Us went down, but now everybody's just going to be making their own toys.
Oh, Toys R Us got killed by the internet. People still love toys.
True. But I didn't mean to. I guess Toys R Us going down maybe didn't affect that, but
the only thing I regret is not taking advantage of Toys R Us downfall. I should have been in every single Toys R Us buying every pack of Pokemon cards and like buying as much shit during their fire sales. You know what I mean?
I know.
And during the time there was a Toys R Us that I drove past during work or like to and from work, and I was like, today's the day. Like on my way home, I'm gonna stop there and like see what they got going on.
I did have my eye on one because at that time I was just starting messing with the resale industry maybe, and it was just they didn't discount things as fast as I thought they would. Man, it was like I think it was a slight discounts, and then maybe they shipped stuff and sold on the internet or something. Like who knows what else they did with it, man, but. When I was there the couple of times when they were shutting down, it wasn't good enough prices for me even as a reseller yet. So I don't know, man. I think they found other ways to get rid of those products without having to discount them at enormous rates. Probably. Yeah. They probably sold them online on Amazon or something.
Yeah, that could be it.
You know, fine, Amazon, take the shit. God damn it.
They still exist, by the way. Toys R Us is in Canada, I believe. Maybe some other countries.
I believe they probably still have a few running. Is there one Kmart still around, or is that completely extinct?
There's one Blockbuster still around.
I heard that. I've heard that. What are you gonna do, man? I mean, that's the fourth industrial revolution there, right?
Okay.
Fucking Amazon, man.
Dalton sees 4 speeches by Andrew Yang, and he won't shut up about the fourth industrial revolution. We get it, buddy. We get it. I wish I had a mega clip of you saying that.
What do you want me to say? Web 3.0, man. That has a little bit to do with it, right?
Definitely.
I saw this interesting TikTok that said the first website that was ever created was actually a decentralized website that everybody could copy and paste things out of, and it was very basic. Like, this is what an HTML is. This is, and like once you clicked it, it like was a link to a document telling you what an HTML was or something like that.
Right.
Like, it was almost like a dictionary to tell you what in these new internet terms were going to be. But everybody had access to it, and everybody could copy it and do with it what they wanted. And then basically what happened was people started adding so much to their websites that it got too complex and shit kind of went down. And so they had to actually make it centralized, and people had to maintain the web kind of, because otherwise people would crash it basically.
Did you follow a couple weeks ago r/place on Reddit?
I don't.
This
was
a big thing. This was
I
like,
should be on Reddit more, but I
even
don't.
for non-Redditors, this was a huge thing. It's a thing. It happened, I think, 3 to 5 years ago was the first time it happened, and it lasted for a few days, and it happened again a couple weeks ago. And here's how it works. There is a blank canvas that every user can interact with. And what you get to do is you get a selection of colors, and you get to change the color of one pixel. And you can only do that every 5 minutes or something like that. And the shit that was created on this blank canvas, wild. Like, these different communities that come together, and they plan like, okay, we're going to take this 50 by 50 pixel spot on the board, and you're in charge of this pixel, and every 5 minutes you better be putting a red pixel right here. And like,
wow.
They're planning this thing out. And when you look at a time lapse of it, like 24 hours sped up on r/place, it's so wild. Like, you're watching this living thing like grow and change. It's so cool.
I remember hearing about a way more basic version of that in the early web, where a guy created, it was just like boxes, and it was like, I don't know, like 500 of them. And he just sold the boxes, and you could put whatever little like emoji or something in there that you wanted. And so everybody got their own little thing, and he sold them all out, man.
There was someone else. It might be the same person you're thinking of, or it might be a different person, but it was called the $1 Million website, and it was 1 million pixels, and people could buy each a pixel for $1, and like,
that might be it.
Everyone was buying. Like, McDonald's had bought
That's
a bunch
right.
of pixels.
They put their own advertisements
logos.
and some.
So it was exactly like r/place where pixels are being changed. And yeah, like,
but it was like 2D instead of 3D, or
exactly, which is what r/place is. It's just pixels being changed. But yeah, the $1 Million website was a really cool idea for advertising.
I know. We need to figure out some kind of stupid thing like that, man, where it's just like, come on down to my site, buy $1 for one of these fucking emojis over here, buddy. That's yours right there.
You're describing most of the NFTs.
I know, dude.
Here's some shit I made.
So
it's yours for $1.
We have to talk about the Mudwater lady. We're already an hour in right now, but we got to talk about this lady.
Okay, so a couple. I don't know. How long ago was this? 2 weeks ago that we put out the Mudwater video?
Yeah, it's been 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
The other day, we got a comment on it of a person who I think their comment was essentially, oh my God, I didn't realize this was a parasite. I'm never drinking this stuff. It's bad.
Don't drink this.
it.
I did this once.
And I immediately felt bad. Because in the video, I made what I thought was an obvious joke, and I said, this has cordyceps in it. You know that's a parasite, right? And it is parasitic to like insects, but the human body can fight that off.
Right.
So this person said like,
all the time.
It's a parasite. I'm wigging out.
I didn't know it was parasitic.
And I was like,
she said she already had a bad experience, and now I know it's parasitic too.
And I was like, okay. My joke didn't hit with this person.
No.
So I was like, I really tried to explain, like, look, it's not bad. You're going to be fine.
Not only that, though, she had some bad experiences, apparently, with this coffee alternative that we had, which that's what all it is. It's just supposed to be natural. It's like 5 different kinds of mushrooms, some chaga, and like, what's this shit in black tea? You know what I mean? Like, it's
that's the advertisement pouring out of Dalton's mouth.
Obviously.
This is literally just fucking dirt.
Oh,
they're selling at a crazy fucking markup.
I thought you were gonna say it's actually psychedelic.
It's actually laced.
It's psychedelic. We're just so used to it because all the mushrooms that we do all the time.
We're used to it because we are hardcore drug addicts.
This lady is like, what did she say about her trips?
So when I told her like, oh, don't worry, it's not actually parasitic, it was a bad joke, she was like, oh, that's not what I meant. I meant that a friend brought it over. I had 3 sips and I used to trip acid. So I don't know where she was going with that aspect, but she's essentially said it was like acid trip.
She said it was like when I used to do it on my, or just like my old acid trip days or whatever like that.
Also, yeah, I used to trip acid means that you did a lot of acid. It's not like I've taken acid before.
No, it wasn't like that one time.
I used to trip acid.
Yeah.
I was like constantly tripping over all the tabs laying around my house.
My rave days.
Yeah.
So,
I sent it to Dalton immediately. I'm like, you got to look at this. I'm having a weird interaction right now with someone.
I know. You stopped coming at that point. I left it.
I left it alone.
I left it. I went a different route with it. I was like, you need to save yourself. It's too late for me. These mushrooms are taking over my body. I started going with it like, save yourself, lady. And I think at first she was like kind of worried, and then I was like, it's too late for me.
And then she stopped engaging. Yeah.
Well, the mushrooms got him.
I mean, sure, cordyceps only affect insects now, but
scientists just haven't figured it out.
Has anyone ever heard of evolution? You know what I mean? Like soon these will be taken. This is the plot to The Last of Us.
It's the whole mud water business scheme. All right, once everybody that drinks it, they got our address and like, oh, he died. Oh, well, where did he get buried at? We're gonna go dig him up real quick.
Yeah, it's recycling humans. That was our whole concept at the end of that.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking recycling our organs and then putting the rest of our body into the dirt for mud, man. And giving some more out with the cordyceps parasitic mushroom in there.
Speaking of commenters, we said we were going to do this like a few months ago at this point. We were going to have like a hater of the month. But unfortunately, we haven't had that many haters.
Not really,
these past couple months. Until 2 days ago. Which is when somebody commented on, I don't even remember which video it was. They said, so that was boring. Oh. They said, all right, that was boring.
That was boring.
And I was, normally if I see a hater comment.
No, it was like, well, now I'm bored. I'm going to watch something else. Or something like that, wasn't it?
I think it was literally, all right, that was boring.
Oh, jeez.
So I like to engage with that, or if it's like a hater comment, I like to even pin it, like so it's the first comment.
Yeah, put the worst haters up on top.
So I went to their page and they had put a couple videos of themselves, and I can't even remember. The title was like, "A guitar lick you'll never forget," was the title of one of their videos, and the comment I left after they said it was boring was, yeah, man, you're probably right. We can't all make guitar licks people will never forget.
To the 14 people that saw that video.
Yeah.
we should comment on his video. Well, I'm bored.
You can't, because he's a fucking coward, and he has comments turned off his videos.
What a coward, dude. That's unbelievable. Who does that? I mean, obviously people that don't want comments on their videos.
Dude, I don't know what it is, but like,
God. What a bitch.
If someone, first of all, like you obviously don't know us, so you've made it a conscious decision to click on a random, someone you don't know put out a video. You made a decision to watch their video, and then you made the decision you don't like it, so rather than just click away, you leave a comment, and it's like, what the fuck? Are you insane? Are you an insane person?
You weren't entertaining enough for him, and he needs you to know it. Be more entertaining.
I literally cannot.
Dance, monkey. Dance.
Someone on my main YouTube channel, I got a comment this week, which is funny because I haven't put out a video in a year.
Sure.
And it was
a year already.
It was almost.
Must be the same for me too.
It was almost a hater comment. It was said. It was a video I did about an artist, Asaka Ito, who does like
Yeah, I know that
the
video.
knitted Pokemon.
Yeah.
And the comment was just, those aren't knitted.
Oh no, that's something. Nah, that's something my girlfriend would say. These are crocheted. They're not knitted.
So I said, I said, oh shit, thank you for pointing that out. Are they crocheted?
Yeah. What did she say?
Never commented back. It's like, what the fuck are you critiquing if you're not helping?
I'll have to ask my girlfriend to figure that out. I actually joked.
I do think that they are crocheted, by the way.
I joked about with my girlfriend to get all those cards out of my collection to make a little card set for her because that's all she does in like her main hobby on the side on her off days is crocheting things like, you know, I'm gonna be an uncle, by the way. I don't know if I put that on the podcast at all, but the baby's gonna be born in a couple months, and she just crocheted a big old dragon for
Are
him.
you sure she didn't knit it?
Trust me, man. There's times where I've said things like, I've said in the beginning of our relationship, said things like, "Oh, you're sewing again," or "You're knitting again," or "Fucking grandma's knit. I'm crocheting." Oh my god.
Oh, okay.
Dude, she will definitely correct me. So that was. Did you see if that was my girlfriend's account? Did you double check that? That might have been her account, man. She might have been trashing.
That's
you.
hilarious. It might have been. Could you at least tell her to help me a little bit?
It's just
Telling me that I've done something wrong
you know,
is
yeah. I'll tell
only
you.
half of what I need to hear. I need to hear what I needed to correct.
Her and I finally watched all of the TikToks that I sent her, and it was 109 from the past
Jesus
month or two.
Christ.
That we sat down and watched them together. It was cute.
You were talking about maybe getting back into making a video on Sulty or Salt and the Sway.
Yes. At first it was like I'm putting it off till I got the new computer.
You got it.
I got the new computer. That turned into I need to be a sweaty Apex player now, and
That'll never happen. So
now I'm a sweaty
Pass.
Apex player.
come on. Well, you're,
Come on, what do you mean,
You're
come on?
certainly a gross, sweaty human who plays Apex.
I'm like the South Park episode where we're all in the basement
You're
playing
shitting
Minecraft.
in a bucket.
Yeah. No, man, I made it to Diamond finally, which is the top 5% of players on Apex. 5%. Trying to get to Masters though. Once
Out of 100 children, Dalton is in the top 5 of those.
come on, isn't Apex one of the biggest player bases in all games right now?
Aren't
Isn't it
children like the biggest player base for all games?
Just because they have no jobs. Anyways, what were we talking about?
You know what's funny? I'm just realizing, like, you were like, oh, I play in the morning, like really early in the morning. Yeah, it's because the kids aren't up yet.
They haven't got out of school.
Yeah. You're the only one playing.
It really is a lot less kids in the morning. That is
So
true.
what's your excuse now for not making a video?
Oh, well, now I finally got the new graphics card, and I'm kind of, how much higher can I get in Apex? Like, there's one more level, and then I'm like one of the best ever in the world, So let's get back to video editing a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And I've said this a million times, but hopefully with this new graphics card, it's going to help me stream as well. I need to switch the internet over, but I was a little worried about having a shitty graphics card. People are going to see, like, when you see what I see, and, like, you're walking across the ground, it's just, like, pixels. You know what I mean? Now this new graphics card, man, it's like, oh, my, there's grass here? There's weeds here, man?
It's like a new game.
It's different, man. Yeah. Oh my God, the characters are so detailed now, man. Like before, it was just like a blob coming at me. Dude, so yeah, I have no excuse besides, I was playing too much Apex now. My system is ready to fucking go, and I'm salty soup and dumpster diamonds.
Sultan of Sway and Dumpster Diamonds.
Sorry, Sultan of Sway and dumpster diamonds. Very motivated to get going again. Let's go. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
You said you had a project going on your account too. On
Um,
the dankest soup.
yeah,
You don't want to bring that up yet?
it's
under wraps. wraps.
I do. It is under wraps.
Sorry.
And it's not under wraps because it's a big secret. It's under wraps because when I talk about something that I'm like, I want to do, and this happens to a lot of people. It's like, I don't know what the name for it is, but when you say what you're gonna do, it gives you a feeling of accomplishment as if you had already done it. So you are less likely to do it. So all I will say is there is a Dankus Soup video I'm working on. I won't tell you what it's about.
And you know what? Thinking back on why I took this break too, besides starting this YouTube channel, it was more about like I started the Salt and the Sway and I started that TikTok and I went hard for a couple months, man. It was just like editing every day, trying to get a TikTok out every day, and it wore on me, dude. Like, this is like another thing I'm doing in my life where it felt a little bit like a job. And now I want to work my way up a little bit more. Start off where it's just like, okay, now Wednesdays, I'm not going to worry about eBay or anything else. I'm just going to worry about fucking YouTube for a minute, and where before, like, I felt like every day I got to get another video out.
Right.
I got another TikTok out. Like, I got nothing on the YouTube channel, man. I got to get working at least once a week, get a video on that out, and just like you were trying to keep your schedules and all that. And that was a lot on me, man. I feel like it was just too much.
I will say this about my video. It is the hardest I've ever worked on a video. It has a full script, and it took a week of research.
Nice.
And the edit is going to take at least 2 weeks, just editing it together. And if this video isn't a hit, I will vanish. I will be gone. You will never see me again. I will move to Alaska. This show is over.
You are such a little pansy, man.
Nope.
You're gonna run with your tail between your legs. Have you ever? It's called adversity. You have to deal with adversity in your life, right? You're probably gonna suck at a lot of shit.
No.
Yeah, I guarantee.
If this video isn't a success, after
one shot,
after the work I'm putting into it,
fame.
I'm like doing the.
If it's not a rocket ship,
I'm doing like.
I'm excited for it now. Now you're really hyping it up. I'm really glad I brought it up.
If it doesn't work out, I quit.
That's the whole Mr. Beast approach. I think before we were mainly just like get them out,
right.
open something up, react to it. Even now we're a little bit like that where we haven't really done a big project on the Sulty soup yet.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to that, but. And it's not like I don't like what we're doing now. I think it's fun. I have a lot of fun doing it,
right.
Which is different, you know what I mean? But, the Mr. Beast approach is, why would you do a million little stupid videos when you should just put everything into one fucking video and hopefully that fucking one goes off and then work on another fucking big video. Because
that's the thing. I didn't know if I was going to say that, but I was thinking it, which is I'm trying to utilize everything that I've like listened to Mr. Beast say in videos and like put it all into this one video, like all my effort.
I don't think that's what PewDiePie did. PewDiePie was putting out 2 or 3 videos a day. He went with the fucking spam you till you know years. My fucking name.
He
approach.
Did it for a decade.
Yeah, man. It was at least 2 videos a day, I believe.
It was at least 1 video a day for a decade. That was his schedule. It was 1 video a day for a decade,
and sometimes more.
Yeah, sometimes more.
So 2 different approaches, but look at Mr. Beast is coming for him, man. He's gonna surpass him, and that's his strategy, dude.
You know what's funny? We talk about Mr. Beast so much, and I think it was last week that I had given a sub count on him. Where do you think he's at now?
You said he was close to 100?
I said that he would be at 100 like by the end of the month or within a month.
He's at 93, I'm saying.
94.2. Oh, man. We'll just do an active Mr. Beast. Oh.
Well, I'm all for it. Mr. Beast was like, let's go help PewDiePie. We'll help Mr. Beast. He needs a lot of help, obviously.
Yeah,
Right? Go subscribe to Mr. Beast, guys.
He really needs it. He really
desperately
fucking needs it. And while you're at it, maybe make a small donation to someone like Elon Musk. Just whatever you can afford. Maybe forward your taxes to him. If you're getting anything back, you can forward it to Elon Musk. It's money you didn't have in the first place.
I would prefer you to buy his stock, actually, because that would help me out a lot. You and I were owners of a company. Don't forget that. My Tesla peeps. Me and Elon own that company. Don't forget. All right.
If you go into Dalton's eBay room, his video editing room, amongst all of the posters of half naked chicks, there is a shirtless poster of Elon Musk. That's the one that looks like my wall in high school.
I need that.
It is covered in cum.
When this fucking open AI technology comes out, that's the first thing I'm making is a shirtless picture of Elon Musk
wearing Playboy bunny ears.
Because that's my eye candy right there, man. All the naked chicks and then a little bit of Elon there doing his little dance with the coat off or something, man.
God damn.
Woo! Gets me going. That guy's a weird guy, though, man. You ever listen to him talk? He's just kind of socially awkward, man.
Yeah. He's a weird fucking dude. And he's a little meme lord.
He might be
he kind of sucks.
He might be an alien. You ever thought about that?
No.
Or is he Tesla reincarnated?
Do you believe in
aliens? Or not
Tesla?
Yeah, Nikola Tesla.
Do you believe that aliens visit this earth?
Aliens? We're talking about reincarnation right now. Because of Elon being an alien? Well, yeah. You ever seen Men in Black?
That's what you believe is going on?
Like the little alien in the head with the... He's opening it up. That's Elon,
That's kind of fun.
That's Elon.
All right. Well, we've been going for more than an hour now.
I got 90% of my notes here. There's only one more thing I was going to bring up, but we can bring that up next week. It's all good.
Next week works.
It's a little health tip I got for us next week, so stay tuned. I'm going to help. It's a men's health tip, actually, specifically. So stay tuned. You know us and our health tips. We're trying to help you guys be healthy, for sure. Live long and prosper.
Okay, goodbye.